Okay, so we all like the whole self-love thing. Everyone wants to love themselves and accept themselves, but sometimes the advice that we find doesn't really, click. My personal favorite self-love advice that I have come across actually came from a Tumblr post that I saw years ago, and I haven't seen it pointed out the same way since. So I wanted to share it here because this totally flipped a switch in my fangirl brain. But first, here's a couple of examples of fictional and non-fictional people with something about them that sets them apart in some way or another. Starting with fictional characters, I got 3 examples: Luna Lovegood, Neville Longbottom, and Wooyoung Woo. Luna Lovegood is the weird girl that everyone knows, a weird kid in their class, in their school, and Luna is one of such examples in a fictional form. And particularly, it really gets to shine in Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince, because that's when you get to see the most examples of how much she just does things to her own beat. She marches to her own beat. She does things the way she likes them, and she is not embarrassed or ashamed. She does not hide at all. And it catches a lot of people off guard. Neville Longbottom. So he was pretty awkward looking for the majority of the series. I know that's the actor, but the character is the one that represents it. And he definitely peaked, I would say, in Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire. I'd say more, but you can see what I'm getting at. And finally, Wooyoung Woo. We're jumping into a K-drama. She is autistic, and it shows. She's a really likable character, but she is very unusual. And honestly, I could go on a rant about how much I love her character. She does things even more to her own beat than Luna does, and she can't really hide it, even at times when she tries. Okay, now for some non-fictional people who are key parts of some massive fandoms. Yeosang of the K-pop group ATEEZ has a very visible birthmark by his left eye. Enough said. Mingi, also of ATEEZ, has slightly crooked front teeth, as well as having mentioned feeling kind of replaceable within the group. Felix of Stray Kids. He's got freckles. They're adorable, and they are quite visible. Not everyone likes their freckles, and he was one of them. Changbin, also of Stray Kids. He is 5'6", has a loud laugh, and actually is just overall loud. Yeah, in a nutshell, when he really gets going, he's a lot to be in the same room with, especially for the eardrums of whoever's right next to him. Jin Yoon. Jin Yoon is a Taiwanese actor who is a towering 193 centimeters, or approximately 6'5". Based on worlddata.info, if he were Dutch, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because the average height for men age 18 to 25 is about 184 centimeters. But among Taiwan's average of 173, yeah, he stands out. He's definitely been pretty self-conscious about his height, and it has actually led to certain opportunities being denied because other people have said, bro, you're too tall. Also, as shown particularly in this picture, he has a much more prominent nose as well, which I think looks really, really cool. I love noses like that. But yeah, that is also definitely a feature. Last one. First, Kanapan Puitrakul, a Thai actor who's known for BL dramas. Apparently he can be a bit of a chatty Cathy, and at one point he had tried to impress this girl, and she ended up being rather put off by how much he can actually talk. Also, I don't remember if it was the same interview, but his acting partner, Kaotong, had also mentioned that his first impression of First was, wow, this dude talks a fair bit, and kind of wondered how well they were going to actually be able to get along. So for some, it's a physical trait, like having pronounced teeth, or extra height, or having a particularly visible birthmark. And for others, it's more of a personality trait that comes from within, like having a unique laugh, or being extra talkative or loud compared to those around. So what's the advice that ties all this together? Well, to paraphrase, because I saw the post years ago, reblogged it, and haven't seen it since, and it's been years, if there's something about yourself that you feel really insecure or embarrassed about, try thinking of a character with that same trait or flaw. A character with acne, or who has extra height, or who is extra short, or has a tendency to talk a lot without meaning to, etc., etc. Now ask yourself, do you think that character is ugly? Do you think they're dumb? Do you think they're annoying? Do you think they're useless? I highly doubt it. Lots of people, myself included, love Neville. And if there were a scene where Neville was feeling upset about his teeth or hiding his smile, particularly in like Goblet of Fire, would you agree with him and say, yeah, bro, you're ugly? Unlikely. So, okay, some might, given the general hype and excitement around the actor's, glow up, but I certainly wouldn't. I would want to jump into the screen, grab his face, and tell him his teeth are fine the way they are. They are not ugly. They are unique to him, and give his face a certain endearing personality that nobody else has. I will say this with my whole chest. Goblet of Fire Neville is my favorite Neville. I remember being 9 years old when I first got to watch Goblet of Fire, and I thought Neville was cute. I thought his crooked teeth and his overbite were adorable. Pardon my enthusiasm for Neville. I know I'm not alone in this, but so many people cheered when he changed that it conjured a mini rant. Moving on. The same goes for Luna being so odd compared to her peers. Her character is loved and kind of celebrated for being so unique and unapologetically herself. The same with Felix and his freckles, or Changbin. Changbin is a total loud and proud short king. If he so much as sighs about his height or feels even a shadow of embarrassment about how loud he gets, every stay within earshot will rally in support, telling him his height is just fine, he's perfect the way he is, loudness and all, that it adds to his personality and to Stray Kids as a group. And I highly doubt anyone who has seen See Your Love is going to look at Jin Yoon and go, damn, your height is a really unattractive quality, my guy. Like, no. Just no. So, if you looked at yourself through the same lens that you look at your favorite characters or actors or biases, how would you see yourself? How would you treat yourself if you saw your own imperfections the same way you see the imperfections of your favorite characters? It wasn't until I saw it laid out like this that it finally clicked. So many of my favorite characters have some kind of quirk or flaw about them that I love and can relate to. And yet, I still felt self-conscious about those same things when it came from myself. I love characters that have crooked teeth, but for years, I hated my own crooked teeth, to the point where I started doing a subtle version of the duck face in pictures so that I could smile without showing my teeth. And I find it really endearing when a character goes off on a tangent or info dumps about something that they're passionate about, a la ADHD style, and yet I was always feeling frustrated and embarrassed about my own tendency to do the same thing. And I literally have ADHD. Like, it is the most in-character thing for me to do, and yet I was always feeling embarrassed about doing it, and yet loving characters who did the same thing. You know? Okay, in my defense, I did spend 12 years with classmates that did not welcome me at all, so feeling like I was annoying pretty much became my brain's idle animation. So if you looked at yourself and treated yourself the same way that you do your favorite characters, would you be calling yourself ugly? Or stupid? Or lazy? Or a burden? No. No, you would not. You would say that you're fine the way you are, that you're doing your best, that wanting to improve as a person is excellent, but that does not mean that you are not good enough as you are now. That the things about you, like being extra tall or extra short or extra talkative or having crooked teeth, they set you apart in a way that actually makes you more interesting, and that the only real downside is not owning those differences. So, for my fellow fangirls or fanboys who tend to be more inspired by people on screens than people in real life, people that we see in person, try to look at your own flaws and differences in the same way that you look at the flaws and differences of your favorites. This really helped me see myself in a more positive and less irrationally judgy light, and made it easier for me to just be without always feeling the need to hide things and cover up or make excuses for parts of me that are actually just built-in, harmless parts of me. Why was I so embarrassed about my crooked teeth when I always thought Neville's teeth were a charming addition to his face? Why would I feel bad about being the, quote, oddball of the group when that's exactly why I love Luna Lovegood so much? Or how loud my laugh can get when I love how loud Changbin's can get. Why is First cute if he gets chatty and goes on a tangent, and yet I'm feeling like I'm the most annoying person in the whole world? Why would I hide how much I move my hands and feet when I'm really happy or excited, when I love seeing Wooyoung Woo express herself in similar ways? Think about the characters or actors or biases you love and the quirks and imperfections that set them apart and how much you love those differences, particularly the ones that you can relate to, because that can help sort of tie things together. Remember how you feel about those characters or people next time you start picking at yourself. Remind yourself that you would not do that to them. You wouldn't want them doing it to themselves. So don't keep doing it to yourself either. This blew my mind when I first read it, and it made me realize how many real and fictional people I loved had things about them that I loved because I could relate to them, and yet I never liked those same things about myself. And how little sense that actually made. Growing to accept and in some cases even like things about myself that I used to hate became so much easier when I realized this. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I personally found this when I was still back in high school, and it really helped. I hope this advice helps somebody else the way that it has helped me, because I haven't seen it anywhere except that Tumblr post. So I wanted to share it here. So yeah, hope this helps somebody, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!